Good morning. Good morning. On this day we become legendary. Good morning. Good morning. On this day we become legendary. On this day we become legendary. Good morning. On this day we become legendary. Good morning. On this day we become legendary. Good morning. On this day we become legendary. Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you at. Good day to you. Good day to you. Yes, it is me, and it is me with a camera. Isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy? Um, the Raiders won a football game. The Raiders actually went out and won a football game. And the crazy thing is, they put up 400 total yards offense. I am actually astounded. I'm amazed. It's mad crazy looking at looking at these stats. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. 50 billion things on the face of the planet you could be doing. The fact that you allow me to grace your screen for any amount of time is greatly appreciated. More than I can verbally express. You know what I mean? Through any words. I could do a show all day long, but without you guys watching, liking, comment, subscribing, sharing, whatever, um, it's just me putting something on camera. But man, we gonna get into the game, man. Normally I run the intro. I might run an intro later on. Who knows? Maybe I might get too far into the show to run an intro. But tonight we watched the Raiders go out, and what most people thought really in the first half by watching it, they were like, I know a lot of people turned the game off in the first half, um, being down 17-3. You know what I mean? What it do, Twan? Blessings to you, brother. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. Um, if you got opinions, Twan, you could always hit me, holler at me. You know what I mean? Um, I know some people turned the game off because I went to the grocery store afterwards and I ran into a couple of fans and I was like, "Man, how'd y'all like that win?" And a couple of them was like, "We won," and I was like, "Yeah, we won." It's like I turned the game off at halftime. Like, I saw Mendoza. I wasn't thrilled about it, and so I just kind of like turned the game. I said, "Oh man, you missed a great second half." Like, he was like, "Well, what was the score?" It was 22-20. They was like, "Oh man, crazy." So, and that's kind of where I wanted to kind of talk about, man. Like, I like Fernando Mendoza. I like the kid, bro. But in all honesty, he's not ready, man. Like, he's literally not ready to be the starting quarterback just yet. Um, he's got all the makings of being a starting quarterback, but I definitely can see why they will hold off on him. Um, not really push him too fast to get out there. I believe Kirk Cousins, people are asking the question, well, he didn't, because Kubiak didn't say that, Kirk Coach James was going to be the first, you know, starting quarterback of the season. And I mean, he's already said it. I don't know why he would have to reiterate it, but it's already been said. And I believe that one of the things, you know what I mean? I believe you say more with actions than you do with words. And I believe that, not having Kirk Cousins play was an action of, okay, I'm not gonna play my starting quarterback today. Um, Blessings to everybody in the chat, man. What we got in the building? We got We the People is in the building. My boy Raider Twan is in the building. Salute to you, Brody. Alfred, what's good with you, man? Alfredo, what's good? Blessings to you, man. Ja's in the building. What's good with you, Ja, man? Blessings to you, brother. Kubiak still doesn't give us a answer who's starting. Said, hey, it's anyone's job right now. We still got one more preseason game. I believe that's just like, I think that's kind of like dodging the question. You don't really want to get too involved on that. You know what I mean? When you leave it up in the air like that, you give people hope, right? And then they perform harder. They try to give you the best of what they got in them. You know what I mean? To put it out on film. I believe the Raiders already know that they're starting Kirk Cousins. They're just not going to say it out loud because they want Mendoza to still go out there and fight and give it everything he's got, you know what I mean, to be the starting quarterback. Same with AOC. Like I said, I wasn't big on AOC at the start of the second half. He led a comeback. I can't even be mad at that. His numbers were good. Let me see, what did AOC do today? AOC went 15 of 24, 106 yards, and yeah, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but you know, he still went for 15 for 24 for 166. That's good. Those are decent numbers for a second half. That's not even a whole game. That's the second half, right? And Mendoza went 8 for 15 for 86 with a pick six. So, you know, the running is what kind of kept us in the game because we put up. Actually, no. We had 241 yards passing today. We had 159 yards rushing for a total of 400 yards. And the Texans had 141 yards passing, 78 yards rushing for a total of 219 yards. So I'm gonna get into the defense. I like the second half defense more than I like the first half defense, and that's crazy because that first half defense, boy, oh boy, you supposed to be the twos. Y'all wasn't really playing like some twos, and we gonna have to tune something up. Alfredo says wanted Mendoza, but I knew he wasn't ready off the rip. I feel you. Like I said, Ja, what's good with you? Redatwan says Mendoza would make you turn your TV off. Yeah, his play today wasn't stellar. His play today was not stellar. That pick six, man, that should have never been thrown. Sometimes you just got to throw the ball away, throw it in the ground, but man, definitely don't throw it behind your target. Like, dude just stepped up and was like, "Oh, for me, thank you." Alfredo says that's why I'm all for letting him develop. Kurt got to start. Yep. Raider Knight, what's good with you, man? Blessings to you, man. Salute to you. Twan says that's crazy. Ja has a question. Do you agree with the QB Carson Palmer first round pick 2003? He didn't see the field until 2004. I say we do that with Mendoza. Carson Palmer became Pro Bowler. He was the Pro Bowler he was with the Bengals. I'm all for letting him sit, Ja. Honestly, I'm all for letting him sit, bro. I'm not in a hurry to throw him out there to the Wolves. I want to see Kirk Cousins go ahead and go out there and do what it is he needs to get done. Look, I feel like our number one offense, our first string offense is pretty good, man. It's not great. I believe it is going to be better. I damn sure believe it's going to be better than it was last year. Um, I think it's going to be way better than it was last year, simply because you got, like I said, two healthy tight ends, and Brock Bowers and Mayers. You have what's looking like two really good running backs, in Ashton Jency and Mike Washington. So, you know, I'll even say that Dylan Lobby had a pretty decent game today. I did see him get into the end zone. I don't know what I don't know what he be watching on YouTube or whatever TikTok trend. He need to learn something. That was terrible. His celebration was awful. Um, yeah, like for the most part, I can I can hang my hat on some bright spots today. Not only because we won the game, but I actually saw a team that, even though they weren't getting the results that they were uh, trying to achieve, they did something that everybody who watches me, follows me, knows. This is the one thing that will always get me to support you. The fact that you give it everything you got and you never quit. They don't quit. They don't quit. And I think that is a hard thing to teach a lot of people. So, the fact that I look out there and I see that, look, that's a start for me. That's a hell of a start for me, because everybody that was watching the game at halftime thought this was just going to be like a complete blowout. It was looking like it was getting ready to be a mess. And the fact that our team never quit, our pass rush in the second half, our run stopping ability in the second half was really good. But I do understand that it was third and fourth stringers playing third and fourth stringers, right? But that tells me that my third string, fourth string is probably better. Well, it was definitely better than their third string, fourth string, right? So that gives me a little bit of hope to say, hey, okay, cool. At least I know I'm not too far off pace. So Josh says, I'm with it. Sit him until 2027, build up O line, and grab him a true number one wide receiver. Yeah, but in the same aspect, Ja, I still want wins. I'm not gonna be okay with anything less than 7 wins, bro. 7 wins is 7, 8 wins. I told y'all that is kind of where I'm at. I'm not going to be happy with anything less than 7 or 8 wins. 7 or 8 wins makes me feel like I turned on the season. I turned on the season, and for at least half a season, I was rewarded with some wins. I don't want to turn on the game and feel like I was only rewarded less than a fourth of the season with a win, right? If you break the season into threes, I won one game every third of a season. One game every third of the season. That's terrible. That's truly terrible. Or 4 games, whatever. Still, like one win, like every 4 or 5 games, 6 games, you get a win. Like, on average, that's terrible, man. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to start the season off with a win and then watch the whole half a season go by and just get nothing but losses. And then you want to win the last game of the season, which is fine. It's fine. I'm all good with beating Kansas City. But man, oh man, wouldn't it be nice to at least get 2 wins a month? You know what I mean? Get 2 wins a month. Wouldn't you be okay with, like, wouldn't that make you feel better about your team? Like, if you got 2 wins a month, man, you got 2 wins in September, you got 2 in October, you got 2 in November. You know what I mean? You get 2 in December, and hopefully you're playing in January, So it's like you know, I would love to get two wins, 2 wins a month, man. That would really brighten up my world. You know what I mean? If I could get 2 wins a month, man. Whoo! The dreams, the dreams. Oh, the dreams. But, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, man, in tonight's game, we had Aiden O'Connell, who passed for, he was 15 of 24. He had 166 yards, no touchdowns, but he led some touchdown drives. Tonight, Mike Washington, he rushed for 56 yards on 9 attempts. His longest was 33, no touchdowns. Dylan Labe, he rushed for 37 yards tonight on 6 attempts with 1 touchdown. His longest run was 13 yards. Ogun Bole had 35 yards on 4 attempts with a touchdown. His longest run was 19 yards. And Hemby had 27 yards on 6 attempts. His longest was 9 yards tonight. Tompkins had a end around for 4 yards. And O'Connell, believe it or not, actually stepped up out the pocket, you know what I mean, one time. And then he also, did the quarterback tush push for the go ahead touchdown at the end of the game. So that was what we did in rushing. Our receiving, Johnson, number 82, he had 41 yards on 3 catches. No, on 2 catches, 3 targets and 2 catches. His longest catch was 33 yards. That was to put us in. That was to put us right there at the goal line at the end of the game to get the go-ahead score. So you definitely got to appreciate, even though he came up big when he needed to. He didn't have a whole lot going on in the game for him, but you know what? He came up real big when he was needed at the end of the game. He caught the ball, you know what I mean? He held on to it. He got tackled down at the 1, gave us a chance to go ahead and win the game. That's gonna give him one more week in camp. You know what I mean? If he was on the verge of leaving, that right there has got to give him at least one more week in camp, man. He's got to get at least one more week in camp off that play right there, or at least a couple of more days. I know roster cuts are next week, but there is a certain point where people are going to have to start getting up out of here. And the other thing that I did like about Johnson that I saw today was his blocking. He was really good in the blocking game as a wide receiver. So you got to be out here. You got to be dependable in that moment. You got to be able to block in order to make this team. I think he did both of those tonight. So shout out to him. Cedric Jackson was number 2 on the list for yards. He had 36 yards. He had 2 catches on 3 targets, no touchdowns. His longest catch was 20 yards. Jalen Naylor was next up on that list. He had 22 yards on 1 reception off 3 targets. And yeah, obviously his longest catch was 22 yards if he only had 1. Dorsett is next. He had 19 yards on 2 catches off 4 targets. His longest catch was a 10-yard catch. Ian Thomas. Numbers like this is what I want to really see, from a tight end. He had 19 yards. He was 3 for 3. He had 3 targets and 3 catches, man. His longest catch was 11 yards. See, that's what I want from a tight end. You know what I mean? Especially when it's a third string tight end. He's not even a starting tight end, but he caught everything that was thrown to him and he made the blocks when he needed to make the blocks. He did get eaten up a little bit too, and you'll see it in some highlight films. But he had a pretty decent game. Mike Washington had some catches today too. He had 18 yards, two targets, three targets, two catches. His longest catch was 9 yards. Benson, he had now see this is disappointing. This right here, this stat, this is disappointing because we've been hearing all of this conversation about, oh, he's doing this in camp, he's catching this, he's catching that. He gets to the game, he has 18 yards. He's one catch on 5 targets. I'm sorry. That's not going to cut it for me. That there is not going to cut it for me, man. One catch off 5 targets. You're supposed to be the guy that's battling for the number 3 position. This is why people are saying Jack Bech is really probably going to be like that number 3 as it stands right now, because I don't even want to get into the conversation of the injured cat, man. I don't even, y'all heard of Thundercats? He's an injured cat. You know what I mean? He's injured. Oh, that's just kind of what he is, man. I'm not thrilled about that. I'm really not thrilled about that at all. But when you have a game like this, I wonder, with all the momentum you were building moving up the chart, does this type of game move you back down? Because this was kind of his moment, right? This was Benson's moment. This was his time to step up to the plate. They targeted him more than they targeted anybody else in this game. They gave him 5 opportunities to stand tall. And of those 5 opportunities, he only caught the ball 1 time. Think about that. I know he's a rookie. I know we got to give him time to develop. But still, you got to think about that. Chokers got spanked 41-17. Crazy. Did they play the Niners? I think they played the Niners. Josh says, yeah, I want 8-9, 9-8 record, man. I hate being at the bottom. Yeah, I feel you, Josh. I definitely feel you. Milk a breezy like cereal, Brody. What's good with you, man? Blessings to you, man. Hope all is well. Richard Leon, Dirty, how are you feeling? Man, I'm feeling great, Richard, man. How are you feeling? I hope you're feeling well, brother. I see that you're watching me on the vertical, so blessings to you, man. Blessings to you. Milk a breezy's watching on the vertical, man. Shouts out to you, man. Thank you for tuning in. However you watching me, man. However you catching this show, if you're catching us. If you're catching me on either channel, the Raider Nation Network or Natural Born Raiders podcast, or if you're catching the show the next day on Spotify. Yes, I said Spotify. I now upload all my shows the next day to Spotify at the Silver and Black Lounge, where it is me, Raider Ben, and Nutty Raider Nate. All 3 of us have a hold and a share in our Spotify podcast network now. So please, by all means, if you follow me here, man, please follow me over there. Like I said, Silver and Black Lounge, the Silver and Black Lounge. I would greatly appreciate you guys, liking and following the Spotify channel over there. It helps me get into the algorithm. It helps other people discover just exactly the work that me, Raider Ben, and Nutty Raider Nate are trying to put out this year. And hopefully we keep you guys entertained at all times of the year. If you didn't catch Raider Ben's play-by-play show today, it was amazing. It was really good. Brody really knows what he's doing. It's a fun time. So by all means, please check that out. Uh, Next week when we face the San Francisco 49ers, I believe he will be back in the studio once again. Um, Wild Turkey, what's good with you, man? Blessings to you, Brody. Hope all is well. Didn't get to see the game because of work. Totally forgot about it until the last 2 minutes. That's all I got to watch. Um, you didn't miss much of the first half, Wild Turkey. I'll just be honest with you. You didn't miss much in the first half. You probably, if you would have saw the first half, you probably would have been like a lot of other fans that turned the game off at halftime and didn't see the second half anyway. So you dodged the bullet. The last 2 minutes was probably the most exciting moments of the game. So you caught what mattered. Said Richard Lyon, I'm dealing with my grandma passed away. Yes, and my condolences to you, Richard Lyon, man. My condolences to you. Um, let me let me take my hat off. We're gonna have a quick moment of silence, man. Prayers for you and your family, Richard. You know, what I mean, I appreciate you being here. Uh, Getting the jitters out tonight for Rook's dirty salute. What up, Raider Pete? Blessings to you, man. Hope all is well. Uh, Josh says Justin Herbert didn't do crap, bro. That center gave up too many pressures. They couldn't get at least to the 50-yard line. Center is a rookie. They lost their starting center due to an ACL. Hey, that's gonna be a tough one. Hey, look, we say this every year, Ja. We say this every year, bro. The Chargers could be a really good football team, bro, but for some reason they are cursed by injuries, man. Every year in preseason, they lose a starting offensive lineman. Every year in the preseason, bro, they lose a starting offensive lineman. I don't know what it is. I think it might be time for them to sell the team, bro. It might be time for them to sell the team, bro. You know what? I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't even be surprised if Junior say I put some bad juju on that team when they did him the way they did him and they let him go, bro. Because ever since they did that to say, bro, they have been cursed with injuries, bro. Ever since they did that to say, bro, they've been cursed with injuries, bro. Um, Let me see. Yeah, we got to take advantage of this. Uh, Alfredo said, "Damn, 41-27." Hey, we can't. We got spanked last week too, bro. You know what I mean? We got spanked last week too, and the Chargers spanked the Texans last week. So, you know what I mean? We can't be rushing the judgment. You're like, oh, you know, hey, look, they did beat the Texans last week. You know what I mean? Just like we did. They beat them by they actually beat the Texans last week. We beat the Texans. You know what I mean? We got in, but and any and everybody just joining the chat, man. I greatly appreciate you being here, man. 50 billion things on the face of the planet you could be doing. The fact that you allowed me to grace the screen for any amount of time is greatly appreciated, more than I could verbally express. And please feel free to get all your comments, opinions in the chat, man. This is the most interactive channel for chats. I try to get to every single person that takes the time to speak to me. Uh, so with that being said, man, our our offense, it kind of moved the ball. We spread it around today. I think everybody got a chance to touch the ball through the air. Ben Johnson, 3 targets. Cedric Jackson, 3 targets. Jalen Naylor, 3 targets. Philip Dorsett, 4 targets. Ian Thomas, 3 targets. Washington, 3 targets. Benson, 5 targets. Uh, Mayorak, he had a target. Dylan Labe had 2 targets. Brown had a target. Uh, Connor Hayward had a target. Ogunbowale, he had a target. Tompkins had 2 targets. E. Williams Jr., he had a target. Hemby had a target. Ogunwanbi Bamanan, yeah, whatever that is, he had a target. And Young, he had a target. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 different targets today. You know what I mean? From our quarterbacks. They threw to 17 different people today. Um, that's a lot of passing. You know what I mean? That is a heap of passing. Um, our running our running was Washington 9 attempts, Dilanabe 6 attempts, Ogunbai 4 attempts, Hemby 6 attempts, Tompkins 1 attempt, O'Connell with 2. And what they did on their side of the ball offensively, they had Mills. Mills was the top quarterback for them today. He had 93 yards. He was 11 of 15, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Uh, Rippin, he came in at the end of the game. He was 6 for 10, 44 yards with an interception. And CJ Stroud started the game. He was 4 of 6, 27 yards, and no touchdown. So it's really not that bad when you total it up. Like I said, they only passed for 141 yards today. The first half really looked bad. I believe the second half we really tightened our belt and really got into it. Uh, Let me get back into the chat over here because I was reading another screen, reading the stats from another screen for you guys, so I won't make any mistakes. Wild Turkey says we squeaked by for a win, and who was that kicker that missed that field goal? I don't even want to talk about the kicker. That was Mistletoe or Mistletoe, Tokyo Missile, whatever you want, and whatever nickname you got for him. Stop it. Stop it right now. It is no. Somebody, please, somebody get Daniel Carlson on the phone. If he ain't playing for nobody, tell him we need a kicker, bro. I'd rather put up with Daniel Carson missing, 1 out of 5 attempts versus somebody missing back-to-back chip shots. Back-to-back chip shots? Oh no, I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that at all. That I wouldn't be surprised if they cut him tomorrow. I wouldn't even be surprised if they cut him tomorrow, bro. Bring in Daniel Carlson, let him and Gay go at it, bro. For the kicking job. That would be a better kicking. I think that would be a better kicking competition. I think that's kind of what Daniel Carlson really needed, was somebody to come in, you know what I mean, and really push for his job. I don't think he's a bad kicker. It's just we've never really brought anybody in to really push for his job because we were so happy with Way. But I think if you brought him in and actually put him in a real kicking competition, maybe he might succeed. He might get back to the Daniel Carlson we first had. So, yeah, I believe that it's about time Daniel Carlson gets a phone call from the Raiders and they be like, hey, you know what, man? Why don't you come on back, man? We need you back. We want you back. It's a competition. You're going to have to earn your spot, but we definitely want to give you an opportunity to come on back and be a Raider, man, because, man, it is looking awful. Man. I need a new kicker, bro. The last preseason game is going to be Aiden O'Connell and Jacob Clark against Winers, man. Our run defense, pass defense, best be on their A game to win a spot in the 53 roster. I, you know what? Don't be shocked if you see Fernando Mendoza next week too, because at this point in time, he's behind Aiden O'Connell. After the game tonight, he's behind Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell just moved himself up on the roster. He just moved himself up on the depth chart. So now the Raiders are definitely going to carry 3 quarterbacks. He had a better game than Fernando. You know what I mean? He's more experienced in the NFL than Fernando. And if they're truly going to sit Fernando for the year, I think Aiden O'Connell is ahead of Fernando. Because even if Kirk Cousins goes out and gets, and God forbid, I pray that this does not happen, man. If he goes out and gets hurt week 1, they're not throwing Fernando in the game. They're not. They're not gonna throw him in the game. They're gonna go with Aiden O'Connell. So Wild Turkey said that was sad with your line. That's 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, it is, man. 2 weeks in a row. Josh says Daniel Carlson was bad because O-line and Holder couldn't help him. It ain't his fault. Yeah, it's still his fault. It ain't his fault. But it ain't his fault. Carlson might say fuck you. Not if it's the only job opportunity he's getting in the NFL right now. He ain't gonna say F you. You know what I mean? He knows what it was about. He knows exactly what we owed him a lot of money, man. And he wasn't performing for the amount of money that we was giving him and that we was gonna have to pay him. So we had to let him go. I think the only throw I question is the interception, but the drops were not helping. I wouldn't say that the interception was my only questionable throw, because right before that throw, he almost threw another interception. So had that one got picked off, we wouldn't even be talking about the pick 6 because it wouldn't have happened, but it didn't. So, but the very next pass, I believe it got picked off. So it wasn't the only throw. Like I said, I feel like the kid is smart. He's very capable of developing into a starting quarterback in the NFL. I just don't see it right now. I just don't see it right now. And in all honesty, it truly is the least of my concern with the way that our defense played in the first half. Like, Fernando Mendoza is the least of my worries. Like, this defense, the way it played in the second half, I did not like it. I did not like it at all. The first half was just like, bro, we could not stop them from getting a first down. You know what I mean? We could not stop them from getting a first down. We were holding them up, getting them to like 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and we were collapsing and giving up the first down. Like, we have to figure out a way to tighten up, man. We have to figure out a way to tighten up our coverage, especially from our linebackers. The Berg brothers, or the Berg cousins, whatever you want to call them. You know what I mean? The icebergs that's supposed to sink the Titanic, they are not sinking the Titanic, man. They are, but they're making us the Titanic and not the offense. Like, their coverage is something to be desired. It definitely needs work. Clogging the inside to get the stop the runs. Like I'm not seeing them really plug all the gaps in the lanes like they're supposed to. Number 63, Fukasi Futu, Futukasi. What I think that's his name, Futukasi. Um, he was getting thrown around like a rag doll before he made that one tackle, bro. Like he was really getting manhandled on that front line. I was I was wondering what in the world was going on. Like, and I think this is one of the reasons why the Texans was, quick to say, okay, yeah, you can get him. You know what I mean? Go ahead and get him. We gonna let him go because as big as he is, you know what I mean, he only shows up just every now and then. Out of that whole time he was on the field, I believe that was the one thing he did. That was the one good thing he did. Everything else, he was getting blown up off the line. He wasn't getting any pressure. He was getting just pushed back. So I'm very, I'm very concerned about this defensive front outside of our first string. You know what I mean? Like you cannot be getting ragdolled in the NFL. You just cannot keep letting that happen in multiple plays over and over and over again. That's just not good, man. Like that's awful. Somewhere along the lines, you are not paying attention to what they're trying to teach you. Either you're not using the fundamental skills that are required, or you're not hitting the weights like you need to hit the weights. If you know that you're a big guy and that you're going to end up taking on a lot of double teams, because I will give him the credit that a lot of this stuff was like double teams or whatever. But the same thing was happening when you were man up with somebody. He was still getting pushed around and ragdoll. So if you know that you're a player that's going to end up having to take on double teams, you should be in the weight room a lot more. You should be doing a lot more squats. You should be doing a lot more inclines. You should be doing a lot more uh, benching, right? Like you should be in there putting in the work to be able to at least get one dude off of you, man. But you letting both of them just kind of like pick you up and move you out the way, like they moving furniture, bro. Like that's not okay with me. And when they turn on the film tomorrow and look at it, that might just hurt him because he wasn't getting any pressure. He did one good thing, and there was nothing after that. Richard Lyon, the D, has been trashed this whole preseason. Uh, I wouldn't say they were trash in the second half. Benson dropped two critical balls. I'm just glad this is preseason, not regular season, because he would be eaten alive by fans. Well, Ja, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm going to say this. He could find himself in the same category with Thornton if he keeps dropping these passes, bro. This is one of the reasons why people get on Thornton so much. Thornton runs a route, gets open, touches the ball, and drops it. So, in all honesty, I I wouldn't be surprised if people did come for his head tomorrow on IG and all these crazy posts. I wouldn't be surprised if they did come for his head on 5 targets and 1 catch, because that's not going to cut it, and that's not what we've been hearing about him coming out of camp. So yeah, don't be surprised if they do come for his head off that, preseason or not. You know how we get down. Our run game is bright, is a bright side of the offense. Yeah, that's because we're going to be a running team. That's what our offensive line is built to run the ball. We want them to be able to pass, protect. You know what I mean? But let's just be honest. We are built to run the ball. They do are That's one of the things that everybody on that front line does really well is run block. They all have their issues when it comes to pass blocking, but if we can get the ball out quick, make quick decisions, run the right routes, create separation between the wide receiver and the defensive back, then our passing game will be okay. It doesn't have to be 10 seconds, given to throw the ball. The quarterback just needs a good 3 to 5 seconds, man. That's all that's really needed is 3 to 5 seconds to get the ball out. And the wide receivers need to be able to create their separation within that 3 to 5 second frame as well. So, um, but running the ball is definitely going to open up our passing game, and I believe it is going to be our bread and butter when it comes down to the nitty gritty. He says, Wild Turkey says, yeah, I like Washington Jr. Shout out to Labe. He was facing criticism for his bad year he had to now playing perfect. Ja, I'm not going to call it perfect, Ja. I'm not going to call it perfect, man. What I'm going to call it is what I see from him every year, Ja. He does this every year in preseason. He makes the roster, and then when he gets the opportunity in the actual regular season, he's just not there. He disappears. So I'm still not getting hype. I'm not going to call it perfect play. This is what I see from him every preseason. And until I see this in the regular season, he's still not living up to the hype for me. That's just reality. I feel like Vincent and Thornton just need to play this last game. I think I think Thornton just needs to get healthy in general, Richard Lyon. I feel like if Richard Thornton does not play in the next game, if he does not see the field in the next game because he's still injured, I wouldn't be shocked if they put him on IR. I would not be shocked if they put him on injured reserve until he got healthy and then gave him a full on opportunity. Because if you cut him, he might get signed somewhere else. If you put him on a practice squad, he might get plucked. So your best bet would be to put him on injured reserve if he does not play next week due to injury. I will put him on IR. So, and I can tell you right now, like the Raiders will do that in the middle of the week. If it looks like he's not going to be able to uh, go and practice and really fully 100% participate and fight for a position at wide receiver, I believe they will put him on injured reserve for at least 6 weeks, give him a chance to fully 100% recover and come out here and show exactly what it is he's got. Says, I compare Benson to Tucker rookie year, drop passes, and he fixed the problem. I see it with Benson. The problem is it took too long. It took too many years for Tucker to fix the drop. It took him 2.5 seasons, bro. It took Tucker 2.5 seasons to fix his drops. And I don't feel like we have 2.5 seasons to wait and see if um if he's going to develop into somebody who can catch the ball consistently. I think the way that this team is structured, you're a wide receiver. You should not be struggling to catch the ball. That's your job. It's what you're paid for. You're the one who all your money relies on your legs and your hands. So this wait and letting him do, no, bro. You are paid to catch the ball. Catch the ball. That's all I want to see you do. Catch the ball. Yeah, Thornton is injured. For what I heard, he was on the sidelines doing little workouts, full civilian clothes. Yeah, he's not even in shorts and tank top. He's in a full on uh Raider issued gym gear. Jet, what's good with you, man? Who are we talking about? Thornton. Yeah, we're talking about Thornton and Benson. Well, I'm really focused on Benson because Benson played tonight, and Benson went one catch on 5 targets, bro. One catch on 5 targets. That is not acceptable, especially for somebody who has been getting all of this season, this preseason hype, man. I just I don't like what I saw. I definitely want to see him tighten up. But we are in the last 10 minutes of the show, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna give my downsides, and then we're gonna close out with the upsides. Downside of this, man. Some people are gonna lose jobs. You know what I mean? There's some people there, they are going to lose their jobs. Uh the Tokyo missile, whatever, the missile of Tokyo, whatever you guys want to call him, bro. I don't see him uh I don't see him making the cut. I really don't. I'd be surprised if he's still in camp next week. Um, that's one of the bad things. Our second string, our second string does not look like it has uh, the ability to really be our depth, and that's scary. That's that's really scary. Because if somebody goes down in your first string, it's gonna be really hard to depend on your second string guy to come in there and make up the difference. Mendoza did not look good. I'm sorry. I don't know what people were looking at. I was watching. I was not impressed. Um, but like I said, as long as you got Aiden O'Connell and Kirk Cousins ahead of him, he has he has the time to sit, learn, develop, figure out what it actually needs to be and is required to be a starting NFL quarterback in this day and time. Um, yeah, like I said, our second string defense more with the front line and the linebackers. The defensive backs, they they just need, just a little bit more tutelage. They didn't really play too bad. A lot of the catches that we gave up were due to uh, being in the wrong zone, being in the wrong scheme, wrong call, man to man's, not really being in zones, and yeah, like our defense, our defense has really got to step up to the plate. Bright sides, bright sides of this. The bright sides are you have a backup like Aiden O'Connell who can quite possibly come in and take over just in case Fernando Mendoza is not doing is not ready. The reason why I say that, people were like, "What?" I felt like when AOC first started out in the game, started out playing in the game tonight, he did not look good. He did not look good at all. I was like, "Bro, this dude's getting cut." But he found a way to really bounce back. He found a way to really pull himself up, and he found a way to take us down the field and set us up for a game-winning touchdown. Even though he may not have thrown it and he had rushed for it, you know what I mean? It it was possible due to his arm. So I believe the way that Aiden O'Connell played tonight, I feel like he really elevated himself to the number two quarterback. Um, I believe Kirk Cousins is one, AOC is two, and Fernando Mendoza is three. And I'm perfectly fine with that because you can carry two quarterbacks You can carry 3 quarterbacks without the third one counting against a roster spot. You know what I mean? On your 53 every week. You can carry a third emergency quarterback that would not account against your 53. So you can still bring in the players that you need, and he can still come in. He can suit up in a jersey and headphones and given a playbook, and he can stand right there and learn what it takes to be a true starting quarterback in the NFL. Uh, Another bright spot is our run game. Our run game is nice. Our run game is real nice. Our coaching staff is going to have a real hard time figuring out just which running backs they want to keep. We already know Ashton Genty and Mike Washington have solidified their spots on this roster. The question now remains is who will it be between Dylan Labe, Ogun Boale, uh, Himby? Which one of those three are going to get put on the roster, and who's going to get cut and or put to the practice squad? Because the reality is, if you get cut, you get waived or whatever, and you don't clear, they just might bring they. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring you back because they're not going to really want to, deal with people outside of the ones that pretty much have some semblance of the playbook as it stands right now. Say if like a Himby was a guy that got waived, he's a UDFA, he probably wouldn't get picked up, but I believe the Raiders would bring him back in on the practice squad. I think he is at least, deserving of that. Let me get into some of these more chats, a little bit more chats before I go. Richard Lyon agrees with me. He says, Josh says, I'm throwing the bag to George Pickens. He will be 27, but his ego and drama scares me. But his skill is crazy good. Talent is there. We'll see what he does this year with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to end up having to pay him next year. Because you pair him with a CD Lamb, that really creates problems for defense to have to defend against. And if they actually do somehow magically find their way uh, deep into the playoffs, like an NFC Championship game or something like that, there's no way they let him walk out the building next year. No way. Jet Lee says, seen Benson drop a few passes, but I'm still willing to give him chances as a 6th or 7th round pick. I have hope for Thornton. I have hope for both of them. I do have hope for both of them, Jet Li. I do. But the reality of the situation is Benson is a little bit ahead of Thornton just because he is available to go out there and practice and get the reps, and Thornton is not. Jet Li with another one. He says that pick six from Mendoza. That pick six from Mendoza definitely lost him that starting spot. It lost him the second. He already lost the starting spot. He was never going to be the starter. But I hear you. It lost him the second string spot. I'm willing to be patient with him as well. He's not ready. He made a very good stripe throw to Naylor the play before. Yeah, you're right. He did make a really good throw to Naylor the play before, right down the middle. But had that linebacker been 3 yards back, it would have been an interception. But no, you're right. If that was the play right before, and it was a good throw right there, in the middle of the field, pretty much. Jelly, haven't seen Himby yet, but I didn't get to watch the full game. Himby played the last, I want to say the last 5-6 minutes. Let's say 8. He played the fourth quarter. He played in the fourth quarter towards the last 8 to 5 minutes in the game he played. Another bright spot. We left this game with no injuries. That is definitely a bright spot. Not any injuries that I saw. If anybody got hurt, by all means, please let me know. But I didn't see any injuries in this game for our side of the ball. So that's a bright spot. And the brightest spot of all, we won. The Raiders won 22-0. They came back down. I believe it was 20-3. It was 20-3, and they came back to win 22-20. Shout out to the Raiders, man. Appreciate you guys blessing us with us Raider Nation fans with a win, something to hang our hats on this weekend as we go out and we have a good time and we celebrate and enjoy because we won. Hopefully it's the first of many. I know it doesn't really count in the regular season record, but hopefully it is the first of many. Raider Nation, it has been wonderful to have spent an hour with you guys, man, just recapping and having a good conversation as to about how the game went tonight, man. Thank you for joining me in the chat, man, and putting, your input in and just, having a good time, man. I just love going back and forth with you guys. It's usually that's kind of what my shows are going to really be all about these days, man. Just interacting with you guys, man. I love you to death. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. Catch the Silver and Black Lounge. Me, Raider Ben, and Nutty Raider Nate, man. I believe we will be in tomorrow night discussing the game. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Check out the intro as we hit the outro. Peace.
Vegas, a city built on bright lights, big bets, and legends. But under the glow of Allegiant Stadium, there's a different kind of energy. A darker one. A louder one. A force that doesn't just show up, it takes over. This is Raider Nation. Born in Oakland, forged in LA, reborn in Vegas. A legacy carried by the bold, the ruthless, the ones who never back down.
We want to beat the NFL and the Reds. That's what
there you go.
Yes, the refs definitely.
Silver and black. The colors don't just represent
We're
a
Raider
team.
fans.
They
Okay, this is
represent
what it's all about.
mentality.
Well, that's why they won't let me into
warning.
Kansas City, because I have to take the shit off in Kansas City.
Every Sunday, the desert doesn't just shake, it erupts. The crowd doesn't just rise, it roars. The shield doesn't just shine, it intimidates. And the nation reminds the world why the Raiders aren't just a franchise. They're a problem for anybody standing on the other sideline. This is a culture built on hits that echo, plays that break wills, and moments that turn doubters into believers. Commitment to excellence isn't a slogan, it's a battle cry. And if you're not ready for it, you get left behind. And right in the heart of that chaos sits the Silver and Black Lounge. A spot built for the real ones, the diehards, the lifers, the ones who show up early, stay late, and rep the shield like armor. In the lounge, you don't just talk Raiders, you live Raiders. And now, you're stepping into Dirty's world, a place built for the diehards, the real ones, the ones who bleed
At the
silver
40-yard line, and
and black.
O'Connell wants to take a deep shot.
Here,
and he's
we
got
break down the
Trey Tucker
plays, the legends, the rivalries, and the future of the team that refuses to fade, refuses to fold, and refuses to apologize for being dangerous. So lock in, stand tall, and rep the shield with pride. Because around here, we don't just support the Raiders. We ride with the Raiders. We fight with the Raiders. We are the Raiders. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the nation. Let's get into it.